Good evening. It's January 23rd, 2025. It's my honor and pleasure to be sitting with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, a highly decorated World War II hero, and he has a Purple Heart and 2 Bronze Stars. How are you feeling today, Mr. Jeckovich?
Great.
You're looking well. Are you warm enough?
Yeah, warm enough, yeah.
All right. We're reading the last chapter of your book, and we're speaking about and reading about opening and closing of the laundry. What do you want to give us a synopsis of that opening and closing?
Open and close the laundry?
Yeah, just tell us briefly.
Well, we had to put a spot that didn't have a wash machine. We had to put a low income level people to do it, and we got the nicest people who picked up. These people are the poorest, are the nicest people we've ever met.
So you had to find a spot where the majority of the neighborhood didn't have a washer or dryer, and you found a spot on 2nd and 3rd Street where you could hear the roar of the falls, the Niagara Falls, and the people were the nicest people you ever met.
Poorest people.
They had great integrity and honor. They didn't destroy your machines, and they really appreciated it.
Yeah.
All right, tell us some more about the comings and goings of opening up a laundromat. Some of the players, plumbers, landlord, things like that.
Well, our biggest part was the landlord. He had an abandoned building there and nothing was going on for 10 years. And we took over, remodeled $1,700 to remodel it. And then he started paying them all, he started yakking about we were paying him enough.
So you always try to increase your rent.
And then when we put the cement slabs out, the gravity feed on the washers, he said, I was going to use that basement for a restaurant down there. The basement was isolated, dust and black and everything else.
Was there any over the time of the building being owned by DeLuca that there was ever a rental or a tenant in the basement?
No, yeah.
So he was just throwing anything at you to try to get you more rent.
Oh, yeah.
And did he not say that you're affecting the heat?
Oh, yeah, in fact, the heat. People were crying about not getting the heat upstairs. The heat rises. They were probably sweating up there.
Yeah, he was saying the tenants upstairs weren't getting the heat, but quite the opposite. The dryers throw out lots of heat. As we know, heat rises, and the tenants probably had a very nice, warm, and cozy apartment. So he'd try to pull all types of dirty tricks to squeeze another dollar out of you.
Yeah. The minister.
A minister, yeah. A lovely minister. Heard it all about those guys, yeah. A minister. They wear religion on their sleeve and always trying to screw you. Beware of those ministers. And so what kind of plumber did you have there?
What?
Building a laundromat. A plumber. What kind of plumber?
Well, we had Shinnis as a plumber, and we had to watch him every minute. He didn't know what the hell he was doing.
But he was recommended by the corporate office in New York, Duplex Giant Wash.
Yeah, but we got the brothers in the building on 4th Street, the 2 brothers.
Yeah, the brothers that worked out of the basement of their mother's house were very kind and reliable, and so they did a good job.
We relied on them. Shinnis wasn't doing nothing. He's the Yahoo.
And then tell us briefly about how the dryers, would they be gravity fed or pump fed?
Dryers? The
washers, excuse me.
Washers were gravity fed. There was no pumps on them. That's why we put the elevated cement plant up there.
And that's the best way.
When they drop their water, they drop it by gravity.
Just like fire hydrants, are all gravity fed. And Shinnis, the plumber, was putting pumps in them.
Yeah,
so
he had the plant there. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm putting pumps in. He said, I thought you putting pumps. It's going to be all gravity feed. I was out there every day. Every day.
So every day you had another problem with this plumber.
Yeah, because he couldn't read the directions.
Wow, and they said he put together many laundromats.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
And then they had the woman in the Buffalo had starting the laundromat too. Like I want to see this. Oh, she was hysterical. John, what are we gonna do now? He just Janice is not doing this. Menace is not doing this. What are we doing now? I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Did she finally get her laundromat opened?
Yeah, but she got somebody to take charge of it, yeah.
But Shinnis was doing the plumbing there too?
Yeah.
So if you weren't watching over this guy, the place would have been a real mess.
Well, he put that stupid boiler on top of the wooden floor to put the pad out or nothing.
And then what happened with that?
Started to burn the floor. We wanted to have the damn boiler down in the basement.
Well, if you want, I'm going to read a few of these pages here.
Okay, go ahead.
And anytime you want to make a comment, please jump in. I need to open up the laptop to the last chapter. I need the code, which is your dog tag number.
4292965.
On my last midnight shift, on Monday I arose and I got ready to go to the laundromat. Delphine agreed with me wholeheartedly never to let the troll in the store for more than several minutes. As I approached the store crossing at the 3rd Street intersection, I could see a lot of commotion taking place. A lot of commotion. Fire trucks out in front of the middle of the street with red and purple lights flashing, and police cars on the sidewalk among large fire hose strewn about the street, hooked up to the fire hydrants on both sides of the street. There were people all about, standing and walking in front of the store, trying to look inside if they could ascertain what was taking place. My first reaction was to look for an ambulance or an aid vehicle to see if anyone had been injured or worse, a fatality. As I parked my car in the middle of the next block, I could only think was the boiler. So you're thinking before you found out it was a boiler. The only thing I could think of was the boiler. I was terrified as to what I might find, not only at the store, but any of the customers who happened to be inside. As I got to the store, it looked intact, at least from the front. After I identified myself as the owner, the police let me enter the premise. There was no visible signs of damage as I walked the length of the interior to the utility room. There was a heavy, pungent smell of burnt wood, but no visible smoke. What was that wood?
That was the floor.
And that was a floor.
Wooden floor.
That the gas-fired...
22.
Burner was sitting out with a pad.
That the gas-fired furnace was sitting on, a boiler was sitting on.
Boiler, the boiler.
And you told them at the get-go not to install it on the wood.
Yeah.
Okay. Firemen were walking about, and I recognized some of them from the fire hall across the street. In the utility room, there were several firemen spraying the wooden floor with water around the boiler. There was a large burnt spot on the floor directly beneath the boiler, but the boiler itself seemed intact, so the boiler wasn't damaged.
Well, the floor was reinforcement. The floor didn't give in. If the floor gave in, the damn boiler would be down in the basement.
The battalion chief informed me that we're lucky the boiler did not go into the basement 10 feet below, as it would have surely destroyed it and done considerably more damage. He also informed me that we could not operate the boiler until the floor was repaired with suitable fireproof structure installed underneath the boiler. You're saying that from day one.
Yeah, well.
In other words, we were shut down due to a faulty installation.
That was shit, yeah.
So you were shut down, and as you told the plumber, do it this way, and he did it his own way. And I could only think of one thing: Shinnis. The firemen gathered up their hoses and gear and cleared the store in short order. In a while, everything seemed back in order, as if nothing had happened. There was customers entering the store to do their wash, and I had the sad duty of informing them that we're shut down due to the fire. I looked about the store, and it suddenly took on a different perspective. It no longer appeared as we envisioned it on opening day, and we perceived it in our inexperienced naive. We would have to rely on ourselves to look at for the rest of our best interest and become steadfast in our resolve to make this venture a success. How many months were you open before the fire?
We were open about 6 months.
Okay. So that wood was cooking all that time.
Yeah. And then we shut down because of the fire.
Yeah. Despite all that happened, we no longer had the luxury of depending on someone else. It was in our hands and we must accept the responsibility from this point forward. Did Shinnis know about the fire?
Well, he's in Buffalo, he didn't know.
He didn't care.
And then Duluth was because of the hard time. He connected about this year with a minister.
Yeah. I locked the front door of the laundromat and hung a makeshift sign on the door informing everyone that we were closed. I was dispirited and despondent at what we had befallen us, but I was so disgusted myself for letting things get so far out of hand regarding Shinnis and his ineptness. I knew Shinnis was a dope and his performance was on the brink of imbeciles, but I had wavered and allowed Bennett and Shinnis to badger me to comply with their wishes in their way of doing things. I was exasperated at my lack of common sense in regard that now we have to suffer the consequences at my cost of the store and all the hard work and money we had put into it. I turned off the lights at the store, secured the back door, locked the front door, and returned home. Delphine looked agonizing at me, and I entered then, threw her arms around me, and began to sob. I held her and tried to comfort her, but my own distress and feeling where helplessness was too great. So we held each other in silence. Our grief was too overpowering. Later, Delphine mentioned that Mother was upset that she was picked up from when we picked her up at work. When Delphine stated that I had the car at the store, I misread that. Later, Delphine mentioned that Mother was upset that she was not picked up from work. So Mother was upset when you had the car at the laundromat. She was upset that she didn't pick her up from work.
Yeah. Well.
When Delphine stated I had the car at the store due to the fire, she was not impressed and locked her kitchen door.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Now she's pissed off.
This upset Delphine even more, though I made light of it. I too was appalled at Mother's action, and it only added to our despair. Whew, that's something. The next several days I spent on the phone to New York relaying our problem
They didn't want to talk.
with the boiler, didn't want to talk, huh?
They didn't want to know nothing.
Seeking some assistance in getting us open as soon as possible. Brandywine, who's Brandywine?
Lawyer.
Was usual, was not much help, only suggested I inform Bennett of our predicament and get Shinnis to back the repair and the damage, something I've already done. I finally got a hold of Shinnis on the phone and told him what happened. He tried, it was a way, it's something that normally happens. No big deal, Shinnis said.
And it was his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, were his exact words.
Yeah. He faded away.
He didn't care less, did he?
Yeah.
When I heard that, I exploded and I told him in no uncertain terms that he would get the rest of my money until the boiler was repaired at the store was open. I also relayed to him my great displeasure and disgust at many mistakes and lousy workmanship that took place, which ultimately led to our being shut down less than a week after opening.
Yeah.
So it was less than a week. He listened quietly, and when I finished my tirade, he spoke softly, as was his custom, and said, you would be down the first thing. He'd be down first thing in the morning. After I hung up with him, I made several calls to a few plumbing contracts to see if they could come up with a favorable solution. I got one,
Nardell.
J.A. Brundage, to come to the store that afternoon to assess the situation. Do you remember J.A. Brundage?
Yeah.
I had an hour meeting with J.A. Brundage, and I sat in the kitchen with Delphine discussing our alternatives. We both decided that we wanted to reopen the store no matter what, and this was only a temporary setback. I also reminded Delphine that the fire we had was not catastrophic, which was true. It was only a question of repairing the floor and setting up the boiler on a non-combustible material, which you said in the beginning. The boiler itself was not damaged, nor was any other equipment. I assured that we'd be open in less than 2 weeks and to enjoy the respite we experienced it, for we had not had a long before we were once again on a hectic schedule, with no time for ourselves. My comment must have alleviated Delphine's concern somewhat, for she began to smile and returned to her cheerful...
In the meantime, I was working.
Yeah, working at Kimberly-Clark, right?
Yeah.
Or returned to her cheerful self once again. She came close to me, put her arms around me, and drew her close to me and kissed her.
Did you see that picture of Delphine in that picture?
Yeah.
How young she looked?
Yeah, very like a teenager.
Slipper looked young, didn't she?
Very nice. Very nice. I met Brundage that afternoon. And his assessment of the damage, while professional...
12 minutes.
Huh?
12.
While professional, was costly and lengthy in repair. He estimated in round figures between $2,000 and $3,000.
Well, in the meantime, none of my brothers stepped up. None of my brothers stepped up to help me at what was going on. Nobody come down to the
I
store.
thought your one brother, Looky, came up.
He come down as a reporter. Come a report, had a cap on, and he's a reporter.
Did he write a story?
He put a paper at the top of one of the names with his caption, by Lou Jeckovich. That was it.
Did he write a story about it?
Huh?
Did he write a story?
No, just news about it. I had a fire in 2nd Street at laundromat burned and all that nonsense. Lou Jeckovich.
Okay. Yeah,
That was the end of him.
I thanked him for coming down and stated I'd give him a call if we decided to have him do the repairs. Shinnis came to the store the next morning and was amazed at what transpired. He was even more rough in stating that we were extremely fortunate in not losing the boiler in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
His demeanor had changed from the telephone conversation we had recently, and he vowed to make necessary repairs as quickly as possible. He was sympathetic, and I would see that he was determined to do whatever he could to get us open again. Shinnis and Nardello. Who's Nardello?
Nardello was labor on our street as a plumber.
Shinnis and Nardello began making the repairs the next day, and within 10 days we were open again. That's not bad.
Well, because of Nardello.
Throughout that time we were down, no one took a real interest in our plight. Mother knew of the fire, and Delphine and I mentioned it to her several times. She was distressed at our fortune, but never made an effort to delve into it, nor was she curious to know what we're going to do. Stay closed or get up or reopen and try again. Delphine felt as if we had done something terribly wrong and we're being punished for it. I don't know about that.
Who said that?
He said Delphine and I felt as if we had done something terribly wrong and we're now being punished for it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the point we mentioned. Looky had come down to the store on Sunday afternoon, shortly after the fire. He peered into the hole on the floor. He looked down the hole in the floor and stated we were lucky. He took several pictures and left shortly afterwards. Airline and the children were waiting in the car as they were going to Canada for lunch and afternoon of sightseeing. Okay, so they're going to Canada.
Yeah.
That was the extent of the concern, and the only time Lookie stepped foot into the store. Adeline never came into the store and never asked her.
Yeah.
Sally and Charlie were reluctant to come down. They did not like the neighborhood.
Who came down?
Sally and Charlie were reluctant to come down, as they did not like the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's something. Besides, they're always too busy. I do not believe Steve and Millie ever mentioned the store in any context.
Yeah, Steve never mentioned it.
Not
Never
one time.
mentioned- Never mentioned it.
And I know they never saw it. It did not bother Delphine or me, as we were aware of their reactions, accepted it, never mentioned it to either of them. I had paid the rent to DeLuca on the 1st and made my first payment on the note while we sit closed down. It was a hardship being closed to Christmas, plus the fact that we had no income to speak of from the store. I believe we were collected at most $200 before the fire, which went towards a payment on the utilities and vending. What utilities did you have there?
What?
What type of utilities did you have there? Electric?
We had electric, gas, and the water.
Was the water a biggest bill?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I imagine that promptness in responding to the boiler outrage was partially motivated their desire to get fully compensated, and I suppose a little bit of pressure from New York. Bennett never returned after the first opening, so Bennett was a salesman.
Yeah.
He never seen him again.
No, New York hang up on us.
Was Bennett a younger or older man?
Medium age. Middle.
Was he a good salesman?
Huh?
Was he a good salesman?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did he work just for Duplex Giant Wash?
Huh?
Did he work just for Duplex
No,
Giant?
I worked for different companies. He worked for that poor woman in Buffalo had started one up too.
But how did you find the ad to get involved with Duplex Giant Wash? Where did the beginning start at?
How did it start out? Let me see how it started up. Bennett got a hold of me. He said, "You're interested in starting something. You look like an entrepreneur, or you want to get something started. I got a good deal for a laundromat. It's self-contained. You don't have to be there every day."
What, did you see an ad in a newspaper or something?
Yeah.
So you see a clipping in a newspaper, own your own laundromat, and then what'd you do, mail it in?
No, I didn't, man. Bennett got a hold of me.
And then you met at your house?
Yeah, and he said, "Look, we got something going on here. You got something going on. Is you want 24 hours a day in there, keep your job, and you have a good income coming in."
Yeah. Wow. Let's see where I left off.
Well, we tossed that all for 2 weeks before we actually made a decision.
Okay, so you had time to do your due diligence.
But I did ask that. I asked my brothers. I asked nobody. I didn't ask anybody.
But you thought of it yourself and you did the right decision. After Shinnis completed the repairs, Ruma had it. He no longer worked for Duplex and was now selling life insurance.
Yeah.
So Bennett quit Duplex Giant Wash,
Yeah.
and now he's selling life insurance. Did Bennett contact you later to sell you life insurance?
No.
Would
Never seen him after that.
Would you have bought life insurance from him?
No.
Never, right?
Yeah.
After Shinnis completed the repairs on the boiler,
Oh, we had Keller give us the insurance there, and he gave us insurance for the store too.
Okay.
We had closing insurance too, so we had insurance out of the store.
Oh, that was good. And so you got money for time down.
Yeah, but that was from Keller, the guy on Niagara Street.
That was a great idea to do that. That was a great decision. Okay, Bennett never returned after opening. Rumor had it he no longer worked for Duplex, and he is now selling life insurance. After Shimmish completed the repairs on the boiler and the installation of Duplex laundromat in Buffalo, he left the plumbing business and went into partnerships with a relative in a restaurant.
Yeah.
So shit is after this.
Well, his brother had a restaurant going on in Buffalo, yeah.
What kind of restaurant was it?
Greek restaurant.
Did you ever go to it?
No,
Would you go to it?
no.
How do you think Shittis would do as a cook?
Well, he would be doing a cook.
How do you think he would do running a restaurant?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
How was he as a plumber?
He was a lousy plumber. That wasn't his job. He wasn't fit for that.
DeLuca stayed around. Okay, here's a good point. DeLuca stayed around to torment us for the entire time we operated the laundry. So he just hung around and hung around. DeLuca, to torment you every week about the laundromat. DeLuca.
No, he wasn't there.
Well, you said right here, DeLuca stayed around.
4 minutes.
DeLuca stayed around to torment us for the entire time we operated the laundry. And before it was all over, we went to court several times, prevailing in each judgment, except the last one we lost our lease. Not long after that, the entire East End was turned upside down, and a new convention and mall were built there on the site of the old laundry. All the old buildings were torn down to make way for several new hotels
Center, yeah.
and the entire new pedestrian complex of the Civic Center.
Oh, we were open for a while over
18 years, you said.
Yeah.
But I'm just
We were
trying.
there 18 years.
So when it finally closed down due to eminent domain by the city of Niagara Falls, they tore down all these mom and pop businesses.
We had put all that stuff in storage.
Yeah. They tore down all these mom and pop businesses on 2nd and 3rd Street, which was a beautiful area. Whenever you're on that property, you can still hear the roar of the falls. And the great knowledge of the so-called government tore down all these mom and pop businesses, which were never to be returned to the area, to build a civic center,
Yeah,
convention center.
yeah.
Huh. After that was built, how did it turn out?
It busted up too.
It was a dismal failure. All the buddies.
They were trying to put They were trying to put souvenir stores in there. Then.
Yeah. All the buddies of the city, politicians all got big contracts to build it. Destroyed all the mom and pop citizens' business. And then shortly thereafter, the Civic Center, Convention Center, was a complete dismal failure.
Yeah.
Complete failure. And now as you fast forward many years, the place is a total ghetto.
Yeah.
Would you ever move back there?
No.
Would you be safe opening up a laundromat in Niagara
Not
Falls?
today. Never. Not the culture of today.
Your wife used to check on the store at night. Would you allow your wife to go to that area today?
No.
Complete change.
Well, when she went to check,
What is-
she didn't stay later than 10 o'clock at the police station across the street. The fire hall was over there.
It was extremely safe.
Yeah, I was, well, we had a phone in there too, we had a phone booth in there
Yeah.
too.
But it was
I called
extremely
up, "Well,
safe.
What do you do now?" I said, "We got 5 people go wash the clothes. I'm talking to them, I have a nice time here. It's warm, it was winter time." I said, "You put the heat in, it's nice and warm in here."
Completely different culture today.
Yeah,
And if you did put the laundromat together, good chances it'd be vandalized
no, they'd be tearing it apart.
and there'd be nothing left in day
Yeah.
one.
So I would never get into business with that like that, never.
So basically times were simpler then. People were a lot more honest. They had more integrity. And now it's like anything goes.
What?
Now it's like anything goes. They'll just rob you blind just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got out when you did.
40 seconds.
Wow. But in general, it was a good business for you. Tell us.
18 years.
Yeah. And you enjoyed it.
All the money I put into it, I got from the laundry. I didn't put any money in.
So the laundry covered itself.
Yeah.
And plus you enjoyed it.
No, I enjoyed it,
It
yeah.
was a good business with good money. And you had a great time there.
Yeah.
Another city shut
15
down a great
seconds.
business, huh?
15 seconds.
They come in and the customers say hi to you, talk to you, want to know what they want.
Yeah.
That.
A nice neighborhood,
Yeah,
good people.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, we'll pick it up tomorrow.